another thing too to consider, guys, is when you go bare knuckle, you'll learn which knuckles to strike with. You'll learn the proper fist alignment. You'll learn which knuckles to strike with, and you'll learn how to throw your strikes to hit the contours of someone's body and head. And then once you understand that, then you could put on the glove, okay? Because then you know where your knuckles are at in relation to how the glove is and how it's fitting in your hand, and you'll be able to try to pretty much imagine or picture where your knuckles are inside that glove, okay? And then you'll turn your hand in the proper position when you're striking somebody with your glove on. If you don't learn how to do that first and put your glove on, you'll never learn which knuckles to strike with or how to strike with the back knuckles, because the glove is on and you don't know where your hand is in that big glove, and it's going to be kind of hard to do that because you've never been taught to strike with the proper knuckles. So in my estimation, or in my opinion, even if you're a boxer, it would be good to learn first how to properly strike a bag with your fists and which knuckles to use and how to align your forearm and your wrist when you're striking. Then when you get comfortable with that, then you put your gloves on, and I guarantee you'll be able to hit harder and your fists will be more structurally sound, and you'll be less prone to injury if you do it that way once you put your wraps and your gloves on, okay? So it's really safe and recommended to be able to do it that way. And I think that once you learn that, then especially if you're boxing, you'll never not forget how to punch like that, And then from periodically, if you do that and train by hitting the bags, it'll bring that back up again to you, and then you'll realize which knuckles you're hitting with and why you keep your fists at certain positions and in certain angles, and why those work best depending on which strike you're throwing. And then when you put on your glove, that just helps even that much more, okay? So again, like I said before, heavy bags are used for primarily to hit with bag gloves, okay? Their material is more denser, so that when you hit to strike the bag, you'll be able to hit it, and it won't collapse the glove and ruin a glove easily. That's what they're made for, and plus it helps develop the body when you're striking for those heavy power punches, especially in boxing. But if you want to do it for bare knuckle, I would suggest using a maze bag, okay? And even 15, 20 pounds is fine. You can also get a bag, canvas bag or a leather bag, 3 feet teardrop type bag, and you can fill it with, if you want, with sand or sawdust and some like furniture stuffing or torn cloth, put it in there, and make it about 30, 40 pounds, maybe 50 at the most, and let it hang almost like this maze bag, and chase it and hit it like you're fighting some real opponent, because as you start striking it, your fist will sink in, and then after it contours and fits your fist properly, and then when striking it, it'll strengthen your hand, your wrist, and it also train you to hit the bag properly without messing up your wrist, because you'll know how to do it properly, okay? And so when you fight in the street or something, you already trained yourself to strike somebody in that position. Again, vertical fist and then diagonal are the way to go when you're striking the head. If you do it horizontal, not good, but from the clavicles down, that's fine, and so are the other two variations of that. Also, striking with the palm up type strikes would be fine from the clavicles down. But from the clavicles up, the best way to do it is a vertical and a diagonal fist. It's more sound, and it's structurally, that's how the body or the hand was made to be able to strike someone solidly, is in those two positions, okay? So this is just some of the things I wanted to let you guys know about. Again, be sure what kind of glove you have and what it's going to be used for, especially if you're boxing. It's very important for that. Also too, what's important is if what you're going to be training for with or sparring, you need to know what you're going to be using and why is it that type of glove is what you're wearing, okay? Mostly 16-ounce gloves, again, to 20 ounces. The heavier guys are going to do 18, 20 ounces because they're heavy hitters. And the majority of other guys are going to be 16-ounce gloves for sparring, okay? And for self-defense purposes, best to use 16-ounce gloves when you're sparring with your friends. But I would go, with the MMA gloves. It would be right in between if you want to go a little bit more for impact without really hurting each other in the face, but be able to hit the body and what have you. And then after getting used to striking the bags, like the maize bag or a softer, heavy bag, like about 30, 40 pounds, and made out of stuffing, or even maize or corn, and it'll give. And that kind of glove or bag is made for bare knuckle fighting. Most of the old time bare knuckle fighters, basically they used the bag that was made out of 40, 50 pounds. Okay, they would stuff it with sawdust, horsehair, or hay, and they would fill it with corn or wheat, and they would be able to hit, and because it would sink in just like a human body would, because that's what you're going to be doing out there in the street fight. Okay, and remember, if you're street fighting, guys, you're not going to be wearing gloves when you're outside in the street. All right, so you're going to be pretty much naked with your hand. So it's good to learn how to strike with your bare fist. All right, even if you're a boxer using gloves, I would suggest you at least learn kind of the impact, how it feels when you're striking, and at least learn which knuckles to hit with and why, and the structure of the forearm and the bones and why certain things are that way. And then after, at least you'll know, and it'll be more safer for you if you hit somebody and so that way you don't cause any injury to yourself when you strike somebody, okay? Like I said before, a lot of professional fighters have broken their hands, even in a fight, in the ring, because they go, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes in a fight, depending on how many rounds they're going to go. And so after a while, it can hurt your hand really bad and break it, especially when you're continually turning your hand over. Sooner or later, it's going to break. Okay? So if even they, which are professional, even the amateurs that know how to punch and they wear adequate protection, wraps and gloves, can still hurt their hands that way, imagine somebody that doesn't know how to punch properly and gets in a fight in the street and throws that punch the same way, then they're asking to get injured with their hand. Okay, so it's best to learn how to do it the proper way, and depending on what you're going to be using it for. All right, so stay safe, and again, understand the differences between using a glove and using your fist, especially for a street fight. All right, so this is Daniel Sombrano, and I hope you guys like this information. And if you have any questions, again, just email me or just write anything in the comments. Like the video. The more people that like it, at least the more we can get it out there. Subscribe to my channel, and that way, because we're going to be bringing out more information for you guys. So I just want to give you good information that'll help you and help you better understand as far as using, gloves, hands, and the reasons why. Because a lot of times I've noticed that nobody tells you why. Those that know why are going to be better for it than those that just do. They just know how to do. Okay. Always the ones that know why, it's going to be the more better fighter, because they know why certain things work and why certain things don't. Whereas just someone that just knows how to do it, he just doesn't know anything but just how to do it. All right. So take care, and we'll talk to you later. Goodbye.